Erik ten Hag's in-game management has drawn plaudits throughout his first season as Manchester United manager, and one of his biggest strengths is his decisive half-time substitutions. United have made 19 changes at the interval this season, and the majority of them have contributed to victories. Here is a rundown of ten Hag's half-time substitutions and their impact on the games. This is an example of ten Hag planning beyond the match. United were 4-0 down after 45 minutes at Brentford, and though Anfield was the scene of their worst defeat in 91 years, Brentford remains the generational nadir for a United performance. Raphael Varane, Tyrell Malacia and Scott McTominay all started against Liverpool 9 days later, and, of those removed in West London, only Lisandro Martinez kept his place. Varane and Martinez were immense on an uplifting night as United clinched their first victory under Ten Hag, while Malacia also excelled on his full debut. Brentford 4-0 United. Brentford 4-0 United. Ten Hag has made half-time changes with United winning, losing and drawing, and this was one of his boldest. Anthony Elanga had struck the post at 0-0 and squared to Jadon Sancho to make it 1-0 in an industrious first 45 minutes. Yet Ten Hag saw potential in United targeting Trent Alexander-Arnold down Liverpool's right-hand side, so Elanga was replaced by his namesake Martial. Marcus Rashford, who started through the middle, switched to the left. Martial occupied the striker's role, lured Alexander-Arnold towards him and sprung Rashford through to score the eventual winning goal. United 1-0 Liverpool. United 2-1 Liverpool. On the day Queen Elizabeth II passed away, Ten Hag's changes were in keeping with a surreal occasion that was borderline meaningless as mawkish British football authorities fretted over whether to stage football matches. Diogo Dalot and Christian Eriksen's removals were pre-planned but came at 0-0. Victor Lindelof had to switch to right back to accommodate Martinez at centre-half, and the Swede was outpaced by Takefusa Kubo in the attack that eventually led to a harsh handball that was given against Martinez inside his own area. Brais Mendes converted the penalty. Sociedad held on and efficiently secured every subsequent result required to top Group E. United 0-0 Sociedad. United 0-1 Sociedad. Casemiro started for the first time for United against Sociedad and was leggy, so McTominay continued his partnership with Christian Eriksen in Chisinau. In an attempt to get Casemiro up to speed, Ten Hag introduced the Brazilian for the uneventful second half with United already 2-0 up. Sheriff 0-2 United. Sheriff 0-2 United. This was the afternoon Malacia's first stint as a first-teamer effectively ended. 16.5 years on from Patrice Evra, Malacia became the second United left-back to be given such a chasing at the Etihad that he was hooked at the interval. City 4-0 United. City 6-3 United. Malacia and Sancho continued their left-hand side partnership in Cyprus, where they combined to transform attack into defense and give the hosts the opening goal and an interval lead. Challenged to atone for their performances at City 4 days earlier, Malacia and Sancho fell short and Ten Hag ruthlessly removed the pair. Rashford scored United's equaliser 8 minutes into the restart and claimed their winning goal. Ammonia 1-0 United. Ammonia 2-3 United. One of the few games of the season where United were assured of victory, Ten Hag made two conscious changes with United a goal up through Diogo Dalot's header. Martinez was a booking away from suspension for the final group game against Real Sociedad, and Antony sustained a muscular injury that sidelined him for United's last 5 matches prior to the World Cup. Rashford nodded in impressively. United 1-0 Sheriff United 3-0 Sheriff. Ten Hag had already cut down Cristiano Ronaldo to size, so anyone else was small fry. Rashford's tardiness led to his demotion to the bench when he had scored in both of United's previous games. With the game goalless at the pause, Ten Hag sent on Rashford and he lashed in the only goal of the contest. Ten Hag's celebration was particularly jubilant, for he had reasserted his authority and elicited the desired reaction from his prime match winner. "Everyone has to match the standards and the rules," Ten Hag said. "So then there have to be consequences. That's also what I expect on the pitch. There have to be consequences. Otherwise you can't be successful," and I think he gave the right answer. Wolves 0-0 Wolves 0-1 United. Rashford appeared to be in such discomfort towards the end of the first half of the Old Trafford derby. The expectation was he would make way for Antony, who was warming up while his teammates were in the dressing room. Instead, it was the brittle Martial who was unable to continue. Rashford moved up top and was in the middle to steer in Alejandro's cross to complete United's turnaround from 1-0 down to 2-1 up. United 0-0 City United 2-1 City Leicester. Sancho. For one of Ten Hag's dilemmas with United's wingers is many have reserved their best impacts for off the bench in recent weeks. Sancho scored as a substitute on his first Premier League appearance in nearly 4 months to equalise against Leeds on February 8, and, 11 days later, he was summoned at half-time against Leicester. Sancho's urgency and directness buoyed United, who improved immeasurably on a lethargic first half to kill the game with half an hour to spare. Sancho scored their third and final goal in the 61st minute. United 1-0 Leicester United 3-0 Leicester. The ends had justified the means with Wout Weghorst as a regular starter, in spite of his harmlessness in front of goal, until Barcelona assumed control of the Europa League playoff tie. With United 1-0 down, Ten Hag withdrew Weghorst for Antony and United's fluid frontline overwhelmed Barcelona. Fred equalised in the 47th minute and his compatriot Antony caressed in the 73rd minute winner. The second half-time Ten Hag substitute to stride off the pitch as the match winner. United 0-1 Barcelona United 2-1 Barcelona. The 5 substitutes rule has emboldened managers to make changes earlier, and Ten Hag is one of the most proactive. In the League Cup final, he was more pragmatic, sending on Aaron Wan-Bissaka for Diogo Dalot with United 2-0 up. Dalot had struggled against the mercurial Alan Saint-Maximin, who had an outstanding chance to put Newcastle ahead, and the Portuguese was booked in the 9th minute. Rather than subject Dalot to another half treading a tightrope, Ten Hag replaced him with a more defensive-minded right-back, and Wan-Bissaka won his duel with Saint-Maximin. United 2-0 Newcastle United 2-0 Newcastle United are a serious side again with a seriously good manager, and McTominay has been found out. This was the Scots' first start since he was overwhelmed by Arsenal's midfielders on January 22, and he only lasted a half with United fortunate not to be 1-0 down. West Ham still led early in the second, and Michail Antonio had a presentable opportunity to make it 2, but Casemiro's presence underpinned United's improvement. Once they equalized in the 77th minute, it seemed inevitable they would decide the tie in regulation time. United 0-0 West Ham United 3-1 West Ham Dalit was hauled off at halftime for the second time in 4 games as Ten Hag attempted to address some of the jittery defending that had almost gifted Betis an interval advantage. Wan-Bissaka barely speaks and Antony barely speaks any English, yet they have formed an unlikely alliance down the right. Wan-Bissaka's purposefulness pushed United higher up the pitch and they took the initiative to win well against the 5th-placed team in La Liga. United 1-1 Betis United 4-1 Betis.